Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast, where each week we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Hawley, and I'm the Executive Director of the best Chamber of Commerce around the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my awesome co host, Mr. Carlos Garcia of FYI Technologies. Carlos, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. Living the dream, right?
Living the dream.
So,
We always say we are living the dream. Well, this week we have Frank Gutierrez, owner of CMAX and newest member of our Fontana Chamber Board, joining us today. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'm very flattered and humbled to be invited to this dream talk show. Hope I don't make it a nightmare, though. I'll try to keep this fun and entertaining.
No, you're awesome, and I know you're newer to the chamber. I mean, you guys have been members for a while, but new to the board. And so, my favorite thing about Frank is down for anything. I have thrown so many things at him since he's joined the chamber and come on the board. He's like, yeah, sure. So I appreciate that, and I know you're new to the board, but you got to participate in our installation gala that happened in June, which is our biggest party of the year. And we just so look forward to getting to know you a little bit better and having you on the show so people can hear about you and CMAX and all the awesome things that you do within the city of Fontana. So
No,
we're going
thank you again.
to we'll
No, go
start
ahead,
off.
Daniel.
Tell us about you personally, your family, and then tell us about CMAX.
So, I myself, Frank Gutierrez, I am a neighbor of Fontana forever. Basically, since actually, I take that back. I lived in Fontana as a little, I think when I was in first grade or kindergarten, I moved to Fontana. So that was like in 1990, 91 or something. I actually went to North Tamron Elementary. So I
Oh,
have some roots in Fontana.
yes.
About 1995, we moved to Ontario. And so lived there for about 25 years. Basically, from there, I became an Ontario kid. Um, but yeah, so basically, my whole life's been in the Inland Empire. I now live in Eastvale. Um, but yeah, so with myself, I'm now 39 years old. Married to my high school sweetheart for 22 years now.
Mhm.
We have three beautiful children. And our firstborn child, Christian, was born in 2012. He's 11 years old. I have a 8-year-old, Nathan, and then our 6-year-old, Ethan. And so CMAX actually came when Christian was born, hence the name CMAX, which is Christian Max.
Aw,
And the only problem with that, I had two children after, so now I have to create two more companies to please them.
there you go.
But So either way, we're a Ontario company, but we've done a ton of work in the city of Fontana. We are a street sweeping company. We also do trash sanitation. We do a bunch of other services in that industry with both the city of Fontana, Ontario, really all over the Inland Empire.
That's awesome.
so it's safe to say that you are cleaning up each town, right? A town at a time. So for sure.
Absolutely. Ab- It's funny
Hey, Frank.
so
Go
sorry,
ahead.
real quick, with the cleaning services, starting 12 years ago, I've always had OCD with cleanliness. It's always my mom always used to say of my three siblings, I'm the middle child. I'm the only one that used to clean my room. I'm the only one that would actually have an organized section of the house and all that. And now that's what I do is clean, clean, clean. And so when I go into parking lots, my OCD is flaring when I see a trash can overfilled, when I see debris in the corners. When I'm with my family, I'm always telling them, "Oh, I used to power wash the center. I used to sweep," and they're like, "We get it. You've cleaned every property in the Inland Empire." So I do definitely take pride in cleaning. That's for sure.
So having said that, talk to us a little bit. How did you build a relationship within the business community, specifically in Fontana?
So so Fontana, it's obviously such a centralized location in the Inland Empire where we just cross so much paths and really from residential services and trash can cleaning. And now with the sweeping itself, we basically have swept every parking lot in that city from, I think of right along the 10 freeway down to the 60. We've done all the Stater Brothers. We've done a couple of the Walmart, or not the Walmart, the big super center there. I forgot if it was, I think it was a Target, right there by Slover, I think it was. And so like we started with a lot of those big shopping centers, like the big box retailers, and so from actually one of the first properties that we got to power wash in Fontana is the Corky's restaurant next to the 7-Eleven.
Yep.
And the funny story about that little parking lot, to this day we still service it. It was literally one of my first properties. And I remember when I was bidding that job, the property manager asked me to give her a price. I had no clue how to price it. I literally didn't sleep for 3 days to give her a whopping number of $75 a month to power wash the 7. And guys, to this day, we still just charge $75. I haven't even changed it just because it was a mental moment for me. Like I had no clue what I was doing, and it was one of our first power washing jobs. That's 7-Eleven, so the one right next to Corky's. So that's how far back we go.
That's
with
awesome,
Fontana.
That's funny.
Yep.
I love that. I love that you can look back and reflect on where you started and where you're at now. Now you're on our board of directors at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. Who would have thought?
I know, no kidding.
Well, you guys have been great partners. Even before you came on the board, we appreciate CMAX. Your team is so friendly and helpful, and we're just so excited to see you keeping our city clean. We appreciate that. We want clean streets and parking lots, and we don't want smelly trash bins. And so someone's got to do it. And I love your, you could tell from an early age, you pursued who you were. You were the OCD, got to have it clean type of person. And look at you, you're helping to keep our city clean. So I love that. I want to talk for a minute about some maybe trends or issues that you're seeing in your industry that are directly impacting our business community.
Issues and trends. Really, I think the only kind of issue trend that maybe I don't know if I'm going in the right direction with this combo here, but just like the whole energy change and movement, right? Everyone wants to go into electric vehicles, EV and all that. And eventually we're going to have to change our fleet over to electrical. My concern with that is just the cost, and with inflation being as high as it is, I'm always I'm always thinking about just overall expenses and how this impacts, really, it can get down to the homeowner in the sense that, right now we buy our trucks, they're brand new. They're going anywhere between $300,000 to $400,000, depending on the build. We use clean natural gas. So, we're being environmentally cautious, but now they're forcing this whole, EV movement. And I was just at a trade show probably not even 6 months ago, and they introduced a new all-electric sweeper. Beautiful monster looking rig, but was not pretty was the price tag. It was $800,000. And all I can think of is, if I spend $800,000 to buy a truck, the bill is going to get passed, and I'm only thinking of the ripple effect down the line. How is this going to impact the community negatively, right? And so I just hope that maybe now being a little more involved with, especially this is again an honor for me to be involved with the chamber here, and I get to learn kind of a little bit more of the politics and understand like how decisions are made at the upper level, and how maybe I could put some input in. Hey guys, are we considering all factors here, like in expenses and what really can end up changing the bottom dollar for the end payer, which is our taxpayers in our community.
Mm-hmm. We were just having this conversation with Daniel Reed about impacts of legislation, and sometimes we feel here in our business community that we have people making decisions that are can feel a little removed, right? They're not necessarily living out daily the impact of those decisions and laws that are being passed. And just like you said, it's the end user, the consumer, that really absorbs this increase. And people always say, well, why are my rates going higher? Why am I and it's expensive already as it is to do business in California, but to live here as well. And that's something that we struggle with. We are very politically involved here at the chamber. We're constantly tracking pieces of legislation that are coming through that we call job killers, right? Or they're just bad bills that just negatively impact our business community. But unfortunately, like with this precedent of going all electric, it's rolling down from the top. So I think we're just having to figure out the in between here of, okay, what are some modification? How can it's not practical, right? Let's be honest. We all live in Southern California. We're amazed and nothing to botch our energy companies or anything, but just with the demand on the grid, first of all, let's just talk about that, right? Like, I mean, if we can keep our air conditioning on all summer, we're impressed. Like, we're happy, we're doing good. But, you think about even just the demand that's going to put on sources of energy, right? Do we have the infrastructure to keep up with the demands that are being met? And especially for you as a business owner, that directly impacts your bottom line, right? Like, you're now being forced, right, to do this, whether you agree with it or not, whether it makes sense or not. And so I think finding that middle road of, okay, yes, we can all agree. We want what's best for the environment, right? Nobody wants to trash the earth. We're all there. But what makes sense from a business standpoint, being business friendly and just workable with your budget, right? That's like the gray area that I think we need to figure out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And even like the disposal of the EV, like later on, I've been seeing, I hate going down the rabbit hole of TikTok and how these batteries disappear into the earth, but the fuel is definitely needs to be adjusted. The clean natural gas, I think there's some very good alternative fuels, but just relying on batteries, and if we become a big planet full of batteries, then these batteries got to go somewhere. And when you see the disposal, I don't know how much better it is for the environment, for sure.
Yeah.
So with that, let me also ask you, Frank, real quick. Let me just change the questions here a little bit. So what are some resources or events that would benefit our business community coming from you? What do you see out there?
Man, you're putting me on the spot, Carlos. I'm thinking that how we, I guess, like how CMAX can benefit the community or impact is, again, staying on the top of environmental, right? We do definitely strive in keeping our storm drains clean and not allowing this to get ultimately into our oceans, right? And just, keeping the debris, anything that can impact the environment negatively, allowing us to pick it up, get it over to the transfer station, to the landfills where they're properly, actually it doesn't even go to landfill. They get, sorted in the recycling or whatever, the organics. How we benefit the community and our services would be, putting our money where our mouth is, right? Like we strive in cleaning, and that's what we do. And with both sweepers and the trash sanitation service that we provide, there's two things that we do that I think helps impact positively, which with cleaning the trash is self-explanatory, right? But the other one is the trash cleaning, where we sanitize the trash cans because this whole wave of COVID has just made us much more sensitive to, being more sensitive to diseases and bacteria and all that. So our service with the trash sanitation has drastically increased. I bought my first truck in 2019. And when I bought it, I literally bought it just to service shopping centers. I didn't want to deal with residentials. I was dealing with commercials. So we had a lot of like in and outs. We have the city of Ontario. We have commercial work. But because we're driving this big green truck that looks like a UFO, all the people were like, what does that do? What does that do? And then we're like, oh, we wash trash cans. They're like, oh, can you come to my house? And I kid you not, in July 2019 from March 2020, I had literally 12 clients for residential trash cleaning. And what that is, by the way, guys, is we go to your house, we get your trash can, we put it in our truck, and it power washes and steam cleans the inside and outside of the truck, which gets rid of odors, bacterias, completely sanitizes the can, right? And from that time period, we only had 12 clients, and I'm telling you, 10 of them were my tios and tias. Okay, like it was literally not I was trying to sell. So, so what ended up happening in March 2020, if you guys all remember, that was like the month the state shut down and COVID just exploded. So that company that I created in 2019 was CMAX Sanitary Services. In 2020, the most Googled word was sanitation. And when people would Google sanitation things, CMAX was popping up. And from March 2020 to July 2020, we grew from 12 residential clients, and again, half of them were just family, to 450 clients. And now I think we have over 4,000 clients. Fontana is one of our biggest cities. Chino, Ontario. A lot of these pocket communities that we have are just, they absolutely love and support this trash sanitation service. And how we impact is properly cleaning these cans. Because most people, when I bought this truck, it was 50-50. People loved it or they hated it. There was nothing in the middle. And they loved it because they're like, I didn't know this existed. Yeah, my trash cans stink. I hate dealing with it. The other people that hate it, they for some reason I was some like conniving thief stealing, making people pay me $10 to clean their trash cans. And I'm like, no. They're like, I just pour a gallon of bleach in mine and I flip it and throw it onto my yard or down the storm drain. I'm like, you're the problem.
Yeah.
For let me put it into my truck that properly disposes, contains all of that, and we drop it into a clarifying station or a gray water wasteline. So that's where the direct impact for the community is. We make sure we can clean the cans and dispose of the stuff properly, and that's what we do with sanitation service.
That's fantastic.
And congratulations, man, too.
Yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment, man.
Thank you.
So so CMAX is the parent company, right? And then you've got your sanitation underneath. Can you just break down your structure real quick?
Yeah. So in reality, it's I kind of had it like that where it was CMAX commercial got all the work and then sanitary just kind of got some from behind. But in reality, our sanitary company is its own entity. So it's CMAX commercial maintenance, and then you got CMAX sanitary. And basically CMAX sanitary is what deals with water, basically power washing, anything with trash cans. We've actually been hired by Waste Management to literally sort all their carts, and we do all kinds of basically they'll send us to landfills and they'll have us refurbish 70,000 carts, and literally we'll basically, instead of them having to buy new carts that cost them $60-$70, we're refurbishing them, and it saves them more than 50 to 80% on that. So literally we've just become the go-to guys for trash carts, whether it's delivery, repairs, replacement, washing, anything that has to do with trash cans. That's what CMAX sanitary does. CMAX commercial is doing the street sweeping, the porter service, janitorial, anything along those lines, in cleaning parks, cleaning HOAs, obviously now the municipal sweeping. And so I just kind of separated the two to basically have each one have like their expertise in both companies.
I love that you found the void in the market, and it kind of just naturally found you too with COVID and everything. So it's fantastic. And we were just so happy. And I know, with Vertec being here in Fontana as well, and I know they're great friends and partners. And Mike also serves on the board. We're like CMAX, and you guys were like, who's CMAX? What do they do? But it's been really interesting to think about this, right? Because I'm the same. I'm like, well, how do you clean your trash can? I just don't think I really ever thought about it. Hose it off in the driveway or whatever. But that's great. Like you said, being responsible. You saw the need, the void there. And you're filling it, but you're doing it in a responsible way. And so I think, people appreciate that. And, nobody wants dirty streets and stinky trash cans. So We are thankful for you and the services that you provide. Well, we are going to wrap up. Frank, I am so thankful that you came on the podcast. I know that being a new board member, part of my vision is to get people to know our board. I think sometimes they think it's this mysterious group of men and women that are leading the charge here at the chamber, but that's not the case. You guys are hardworking business owners, leaders within the community, and I appreciate. I know you're so busy, but just taking the time out to sit with our listeners, to educate them on what you do and your passion, but really just serving our great city of Fontana and our business community. So thank you. Thanks for being up for the task of popping on the podcast, even though you're fairly new to our community.
No, I appreciate it. And the funniest thing, I'll share one last thing. I don't know how much time we got here, but I know with the partnership with Burtech has just been honestly just a match made in heaven. At least on my side. I hope they feel the same. But literally, the funniest story was we were sweeping parking lots, industrial, and all these things. I wasn't really involved with municipalities, but back in end of 2022, we have the contract with Pasadena. We've been sweeping the Pasadena downtown district for probably, I don't know, 5 years now. And at the end of every year, we always sweep the Rose Parade. That's a big deal, but I've never really thought of it as that. It's another job for us, right? But one year we decided to record the whole thing. We recorded from beginning to end, the background. So we made this little video. And by the way, my wife hates social media. She absolutely detests it. And so she says I'm a 9-year-old girl posting on TikTok, and which is and so I made this Rose Parade event on TikTok, and it was a really cool little video. And it kind of went locally viral with all this love of they couldn't believe that CMAX is sweeping the Rose Parade. But what ended up happening, I ended up getting a call from Burtech, and we had a nice little meeting, and we talked about all the services I provide because they're looking for a new street sweeper. Mm-hmm. And after this 2-hour meeting, I just tell the guy, I'm all, hey, how'd you guys hear about CMAX? Like, oh, we seen your TikTok. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to record that and show my wife that it matters that I post on TikTok. Yeah. But from there, the partnership became with Burtech, and thank God these guys have just been such a blessing for us that now we're in Fontana and all the surrounding cities, and again I can't ever thank them enough for the opportunity.
That's really cool. I'll check out this video now.
Well, check out my TikTok.
Yep, I'll check out your TikTok like a 9-year-old girl. No shame. No, but we appreciate you, Frank. And like I said, I know you're a little newer around here, but just a breath of fresh air. We love what you do. Shout out to Mike from Burtech for, we always have our eyes on some future people like, oh, who could come on the board, and you've just been such a great fit so far. And we're so excited to just see you thrive and prosper here in the city of Fontana. And we wish you all the success. I know if you're partnered with Burtech, you're going to be just fine. And they're getting contracts all the time, so I'm sure they're going to take you along with them. But just here, we appreciate you keeping our streets clean and just keeping the city of Fontana just the beautiful place that it is. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time today to come on our Talk of the Town podcast. And for those of you that are listening, don't forget, we drop a new episode every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We are on all major streaming platforms as well as YouTube. So you can listen to us, you can watch us. Sometimes, I don't know, if we're more entertaining to watch, I don't know. But we appreciate you guys tuning in either way that you decide to join us each week. And Carlos, once again, thank you for all of your help being our tech guy, making it happen. So until we see you guys next time, have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m.